right, hello all. Welcome to another edition at the Spotter Stand. Coming to you this week from Shilaga. Maybe I can get it out. Chicagoland Speedway. Back with us in the booth this week. It's Big Panda BSR Pockets and the Foot Doctor Larry Yeager. How you guys doing this week?
What up, Doug Butter Jones here, Chicago.
Yeah, a little problem getting that Chicagoland out for some reason. I don't know what's over that.
We're also joined by manager of guest services for Bomb Squad Racing, BSR Chevrolet Chase.
Right here.
Hey,
That's
Chevy.
right. And I've got a little new format I've been working on here to try to make things look a little bit nicer when we get over to our picks and our points. Something we wanted to talk about this week, right off the bat. Pockets made a post on his Leroy Mercer page. You want to talk to us a little bit about that, Pockets?
Yeah, Robert Balcom and I have always been kind of joking around with each other, and he's always called me his car owner. So we decided to get together and make that something official, and we've decided to put together a little sim racing team called BAM, Balcom and Mercer Motorsports. And thanks to the fine folks over at WLS Graphics, BSR Scar, he's put us together. That car's been in the works, been in the paint booth, and we rolled it out today. And I made the announcement. And unfortunately, Robert is, but fortunate for him, he is on an airplane on his way to enjoy some off time on vacation. So we're looking forward to putting that car out on the track and putting it in victory lane for some upcoming events here. Robert's going to be the driver. I'm going to give him the support and logistic support and stuff like that. And anything that I do is going to have the love and support of Drunken Cow Jerky. So you see a little Drunken Cow Jerky logo on there. So we're looking forward to that. I'm excited to be working with Robert. He's a great guy, outstanding racer. And so it's just something fun for us to do together and have a good time.
Yeah, outstanding racer, no doubt. Bam. I mean, you couldn't say it any better. Robert Balcom shows up in the server. Bam.
I am.
118. We've got another pic of this car here, a little double scene. You can see the front and the back of it. That is a good looking car. That's a great looking car.
Yeah, that's the great thing about WLS Graphics. Tim over there, all I have to do is say, "Hey, I can throw out an idea." He gets that whiteboard and he writes it up there, and in a couple of days he just throws me out something, and I mean, there it is. You're looking at it. That's all his creation. That's his artistic vision for my idea, and he does a great job. Not only for all the stuff that I throw at him, but he's also does the graphics for Drunken Cow Jerky, so he does a great job. Like I said, you can't beat that. I mean, I just come up with the ideas and pile it on his desk, and eventually he gets to it, and there it is. Great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of, what do you guys think of my new layout, my new look here? This is still a work in progress. I'm got a few other things I was thinking about adding. I may change something here or there, but just trying to make it look a little spicier, make it look a little better. What do you think?
Ain't nothing wrong with the eye candy. Looks
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
me.
We got all the different types of cars over there on the left, different renders that Scar's done. You can see all the pics, that people have sent in of their prizes, jerkies and plaques and shirts and all that stuff is clicking by over there on the left too.
Well, you
So,
do a great you do a great job, and we sit in here every Sunday and hang out, and we sat in here from early Sunday morning until late Sunday afternoon watching you put all this stuff together and working hard on that. We really appreciate all the hard work you put into this. It's a good deal.
well, I enjoy doing it, and I appreciate all the guys that show up and watch live. We've got a few in there watching now. We've got a couple other picks to share with you this week. Here's one of BSR Jimmy Dale with his Ghost shirt on. This is the final member of the Ghost teams. Finally sent in, got his shirt and his plaque from Brian Boyles there. Winners of season 35. He's got his number and his name there on the front. And we've got a pic of the back. There he is, arms high, champion there. Bomb Squad logo on the back. Saturday Night Team Series. What's that say on the bottom? I can't. Oh yeah, season 34 champions. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't be more proud of Jimmy Dale than I am. I mean, he did a great job representing his prizes there, and we seen some prizes last week of him with the Drunken Cow Jerky prizes that he got, and special thanks to Brian and Kathy Voiles at Voiles Trucking for that nice plaque Jimmy Dale's holding, and again WLS Graphics, Tim and Christy over at WLS Graphics put together those shirts for us, and Jimmy Dale, he's a very unique character. He brings a lot to this league. He's a great guy. He's a veteran, and it's also worth noting that he is the commander of the VFW Post 3702 in Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. So shout out to all those people over there. Buy our man Jimmy Dale a drink, and just goes to show you that he's a veteran and he's still serving veterans. You know, today, and we really appreciate his service as well as all veterans and all they do for us. And we're proud to have Jimmy Dale as a part of our group.
Yes, we are absolutely great driver, and obviously great super speedway driver. Championship team last season, and they're doing a good job again this season. Another member, Larry Yeager, the foot doctor. BSR Hot Rod has sent us a couple of pics this week. There's his plaque from the victory, the championship at the Boyles Trucking Dirt Series last season. You notice that bag of ghost jerky up there behind it.
You got more than one bag of jerky, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
We've
for sure. That's
we've
for sure.
we've got another
Doing
pic
there.
from him here that actually shows a little bit more of his racing rig. You can see his wheel. Look at the size of that monitor, man. That would you say that was a 55-inch monitor?
55. Yep,
Yeah, man, that's
55.
great. I would love to have one like that to race on. And yeah, you can see all that jerky sitting back there as well. So Larry, looks like you're stocked up on the jerky for at least the next couple of days anyway, huh? How
Yep.
much of that you still got left?
A lot of it.
Really?
Yeah,
We're,
he was
we're
telling me
bad.
last night. Yeah, he was telling me last night. Yeah, I said I'm gonna go eat some potato chips. He said I'm gonna eat some drunken cow jerky, and I was like, I bet you are. But that's the prize that Voiles Trucking gave out. Brian and Kathy Voiles. We want to send our shout outs to them and tell them we thank them very much. That's for the Friday Night Madness in Mesquite Late Model Dirt Series of Voiles Trucking, with support from our good friends at Drunken Cow Jerky. Drunken Cow Jerky always takes care of us and helps us out. And Brian and Kathy putting out those nice plaques for winners. And our good friend, the Foot Doctor, brings it home, posts up some pictures there for everybody to see, and get everybody to take a look at all these nice prizes that we have over here. And congratulations, Larry. That was a pretty impressive championship there, and you are the champion of the Boyles Trucking Late Model Dirt Series Madness in Mesquite. So, how's that feel?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Did you catch the Facebook comments to the pictures I added in there?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Wills and Kathy actually sent a comment back in person. That was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, she runs the big operation there that is Voiles Trucking, and I always give Brian a hard time and tell him he's just the guy behind the wheel, and she does everything, and she stays on top of that. She's the office manager and takes care of all that stuff, and she stays close contact with all that we've got doing with all these sponsorship deals and everything. And she watches the races and supports us, and we really appreciate her support and all she does. She makes the magic happen over there. Brian, he just gets behind the wheel and drives.
Yeah, he
So
got the easy part.
yeah, he's and Kathy's the one. She's the glue that holds it all together over there at Voiles Trucking. So we really appreciate her support.
Let's get on to the racing this week or last week. Start out with the Sunday Nitro Series run by our friend BSR Axel Foley. This last week we ran at Richmond Motor Speedway, and it was Robert Balcom brought home the win in the Aero 88 Series Sunday Nitro at Richmond.
Yes, he had a really good run there. And then Keith McLean got second. Mr. Texan gets third. Monty Keller got fourth, and the Hot Rod rounds out the top five.
Yeah, good to see Keith McLean make his debut appearance at the Sunday Nitro Series and got a pretty successful finish there, finishing second. And everybody else that comes out on Sunday nights for Axel's series there, congratulations to Robert. No big surprise there. Short track, Richmond. You know that Robert's going to be the man there, and he pulls it into victory lane. So hats off to him and everybody that showed up. They're going to line up and do another one tonight, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Axel Foley Speedway tonight.
Axel Foley
That's
Speedway.
right. Yep.
South Carolina County Fair.
Let's take a look at the points in this series so far through. We've got myself up in the lead there somehow or another, with Monty Keller second place down by 7, Hot Rod third down by 15, Axel Foley in fourth down by 16, and Aussie Bill rounding out the top 5 down by 18. Looks like you
Tied
moved up
with
3
Chevy
spots
Chase.
there, Larry. You moved up 3 spots last week. Good race.
Yep, my top 5 finish. Yep, and Chevy Chase is tied for fifth place with 18 back.
Would you looky there? He sure is.
Yeah, blew up 2 weeks in a row. 21 laps and 10 laps or something. I got 3 laps in 2 weeks.
I actually got lucky last week. Fuel strategy helped me out.
Chevy Chase has put a setup in the guest services file browser here in TeamSpeak for tonight's track. So, you know, if you're worried you've never been to the track, I've never raced it either. So this will be my first time at Axel Foley Speedway, but there is a setup available, something that'll be good, decent setup. If you want to tweak it and try to make it faster or better for you, there'll be something available there in the guest services room. If you want to come out and race with us tonight in the Aero 88 Series at Axel Foley Speedway.
Yeah, they've implemented for this season. They've implemented that tire rule that everybody's pretty excited about and enjoys. And Axel does a good job running that series and putting up fun stuff like this Axel Foley Speedway, which is actually a track that's, what'd you say it was, Chevy, South Carolina?
Yeah, South Carolina Fairgrounds, County Fair.
Yeah, and Axel went in and added some eye candy to it and fixed it up a little bit to make it his own. So he has got his own track for his own series over there. And so, yeah, that's always a good, exciting time over there on Sunday nights. Gives the guys something to do for those people that are just finished watching the real race on TV and got the bug to get behind the wheel. That gives them a good spot to go. And we appreciate Axel and everybody showing up for that series. What about my man, Monty Keller, in second place? Go, Monty.
That's right. Didn't I hear is Monty on vacation?
No, Monty.
No, that's Robert.
Robert's on vacation.
Robert and Steve are on vacation, and that's why we didn't really do anything Saturday night. And Monty has suffered a small injury. He messaged me earlier this week and told me that he wasn't going to be able to make a couple of races because he got poked in the eye by a plant.
Ow.
And he said he was going to be off work till Monday and he wasn't going to be able to race. But he did message me last night and told me that he was planning on being there tonight for Axel's race. So we're glad to see Monty recovering, and I'm glad it wasn't nothing serious. And he's a great guy. Glad to have him as a part of our group, coming in here and racing. I mean, there's very few people that are as fun to race with as Monty. And we're just glad his eye is okay, and look forward to seeing him again here.
Well, we'll see him tonight at Axel Foley Speedway.
That's right.
Let's move on to Chicagoland. Now, on Wednesday night, we run our truck series, follows the NASCAR schedule, and they were at Chicagoland this week. We had some great racing in all the series, I think, at Chicago. This week in the trucks, it was HB Hardy that bring home the victory. Sorry, HB, this was the only render I had of your truck. I know you got a different one going on now, but HB with a great run there brought home the victory in the truck series at Chicagoland.
That's right. and Rick Johnson was chasing him down. Or Texan got second. Chevy Chase gets third, or yeah, fourth. I'm sorry, got that all screwed up. Texan got third. Chevy Chase got fourth, and Axapoli got fifth.
HB Hardy and his buddy Ricky J finishing first and second. HB, Huggy Bear. Huggy Bear Hardy in the victory lane. Good job there, HB. He had a piece under him there Wednesday night in the Truck Series. I mean, he yarded the field. And
Yeah,
it
he
was a great
dominated.
race too. Yeah,
He led he led the most laps. Didn't quite lead them all, but he definitely dominated.
Oh yeah,
yep.
I remember I couldn't quite even get up to his bumper. I mean, I could hang with him and stay with him, but I just couldn't. I could pull up on him. He had a great truck, dominated everybody. Who got behind him had a hard time pulling up to him. So hats off to HB. Good job, man.
Well, I know Huggy. He got some resources to pull from because his daddy Danny Hardy has got a setup folder that most people would give their eye teeth to get a hold of, and I'm sure he pulled some resources out of that. Got some great tips and hints from great racer Danny Hardy, and that helped him out and put him in victory lane. So the Hardy boys they work good together, father and son team, father and son racing over on Facebook. They do a lot of streaming and stuff like that. So if you want to ride along with them and see what they got going on with their program, just find them on Facebook at Father and Son Racing. They do a great job. We're proud to have them with us.
Yeah, they even talk about it in the open chat. Like, what version you got? Version 4? No, I got version 6. Oh man, you should use version 5. Oh my God.
And I'll tell you, there's very few people that have spent the time that Danny Hardy has putting together setups for these tracks and spends a lot of time testing, a lot of seat time, and it pays off. I mean, if you get beat by one of those guys, it's due to their dedication to this racing and what they do. They don't just walk in there and plug their wheel up and race. They've probably have hours and hours and hours of practice on a daily basis to be as good as they are. So that leads to a lot of their success.
Let's take a look at the points here in the Truck Series. I'm at the top of this one as well. How about that? BSR Texan in the lead. BSR Chevy Chase in second, down by 42. Brain in third, down by 46. Pockets in fourth place, down by 64. And Hot Rod, the Foot Doctor, rounding out the top five, down by 73.
Yeah, and only 2 races to go in the Truck Series, so that's going to get a little interesting.
Do you ever feel uncomfortable about saying, "Here I am at the top of the leaderboard again"? There, Duckweather Jones.
Well, that's the last time you'll hear that today. I promise you that.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, yeah. But at least that's the only time you'll feel uncomfortable about doing it. Yeah, great racing. Them points are rolling along just like we said they would. We're keeping track of them here on the spotter stand every Sunday. So yeah, that's a good deal. Foot Doctor in there in the top five, and you can see how close it is. There's a lot of close competition.
How many races to go did you say, Larry? 2?
2 races to go, and they do not race this weekend. They're off this week.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Truck Series, having so many fewer races. We want to still have 10 in the chase. So the Truck Chase actually starts a few weeks before the other 2 series, and there are some gaps in between races there, but there are still 10 races in the Truck Chase, just like the Cup and the Xfinity.
Yeah,
We're
and
off
that
this.
yeah, like you were gonna say there, Larry. That's a Wednesday night scheduled series, and this Wednesday is the 4th of July, so they'll
Yes,
be
that's correct.
off.
Yep, I
Uh,
wanted to throw it out there and say that they aren't running because of the 4th of July, and happy 4th of July for all the viewers out there.
Yep. That's the deal. We'll be off 4th of July. We're gonna do Axel's series tonight, and then we'll be off until Thursday and Friday of this week, and then we're gonna take the weekend off for people that are going to celebrate the 4th of July, Independence Day this weekend. We decided to just take the weekend off and let everybody go out and hang with their family and friends and celebrate Independence Day.
That's right. And the following week, trucks will be back. They run in Kentucky. I'm sure we'll go over that next week too, but just throwing it out there.
Yeah, Kentucky, that's a great track. I love that track. On to Thursday night in the Cup Series, also ran at Chicagoland. This was a pretty interesting race. I believe we had some green flag pit stops in here. A lot of lead changes. Really a pretty good race on Thursday night. And Steve Looney coming out on top of the board with the victory at Chicagoland in the Cup Series.
Yes, and Terry Scott got second. Brain Fade got third. BSR Pockets is in fourth, and rounding out the top five is Mr. Texan.
Man, what a race that was. And look at there. Here we are. Steve Looney, 2 weeks in a row. He takes center stage here for the Thursday night Drunken Cow Jerky Cup Series. Puts that Diet Mountain Dew car. That is Diet Mountain Dew, isn't it?
I believe it's just Mountain Dew.
I believe it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I couldn't tell if it was Diet Mountain Dew or whatever, but I was going to tell you, I've seen Steve Looney before, and I don't know that he needs Diet Mountain Dew, but that might be the key to him. He's skinny. I tell him he needs to eat a cheeseburger if he gets a chance, but whatever he's doing, he's putting that car in victory lane 2 weeks in a row, and congratulations to him. Great, clean racer. Another guy we're just proud to have as a part of this group that comes in and provides some great, clean racing and good time, and congratulations to him and the 21 team.
Well, you know how that goes, right, Pockets? That means more weight added to the car, which means you can position the weight to better help you out driving, right?
Well,
And how that works?
I tell you that I can't. Did y'all say it was Diet Mountain Dew?
No, it's regular Mountain Dew.
Oh, well, then there you go. He don't need no Diet Mountain Dew. He's doing just fine with the regular Mountain Dew. But that's a good looking car and a good driver. And like I said, congratulations to Steve. Steve's on vacation too. He's taking a week off and rounded up his family and going to spend some quality family time on vacation. And we wish them lots of fun and safe travels and see him when he gets back.
Let's see how he's doing in the points. Thus far in segment 2, he is the leader, topping the board. Rick Craddock in second, down by 4. Chevy Chase in third, down by 5. Terry Scott in fourth, down by 7. And Brain Fade rounding out the top 5, down by 10. That's pretty close. What are we, 3 races into this second segment now, I believe? Yeah, 3 races
3
in. That's, points are still pretty close up there at the top.
Yeah, those wins will put you up there on top of the leaderboard like that, 2 in a row like that, and he's done what it takes to climb the ladder and put himself up there at the top. So we'll see how he fares. Unfortunately, I think he's probably going to miss this week's races because he, like I said, he's on vacation. But I was telling somebody the other day, these are basically these series for the bonus points and these 26 races in this segment, altogether 2 segments, but it's 26 races total. These are basically just qualifying events to get you your bonus points and get you everything that you're going to need to set you up for the last 10 races, the chase. And so Steve will be just fine because he's stacking up those bonus points with those wins, and it's showing there in the standings of the segment standings. So, and I was telling, I think it was poor boy the other day, Roger Bevins. He was concerned about taking a hit in the points, and I told him, I said, this is how we designed it, that you can go on vacation with your family. You can take a week off. You can take a couple of weeks off. You can miss some races, and you're still going to be competitive. You're still going to have everything that you need to go into those last 10 races to fight for a championship. So we designed it that way because we know as sim racers that sometimes, rightfully so, your family takes precedent, your work, your other things that you've got going on, so you can miss some races and still remain competitive and in the points. And Steve is a perfect example of that. He's going to be just fine, missing next week, and he's looking good right now towards the Thursday night Cup Series Chase Championship bonus points wise. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, looking very good, as you'll see when we get to the bonus points. I'm sure missing a race or two, he'll be there to get his full bonus points for making all the 13. So he said he's going to be right there at the top of the board come chase time.
Yep.
Well, on to Friday night in the Xfinity Series, also at Chicagoland. And a few drivers this week at Chicago that had some really fast cars that had a little trouble. Like HB. He got a little beat up. My car got a little beat up. A few other cars that got a little beat up in that race. HB ended up still, running a great race, giving the leader a run for his money there at the very end. But it was BSR Chevy Chase in that Drunken Cow Jerky Ghost machine that brought home the victory at Chicagoland in the Xfinity Series.
Yes, Terry Scott got second. HB ends up third. Mr. Brain Fade Reaper Man gets fourth. And BSR Magoo rounds out the top five.
I tell you, congratulations to Chevy Chase. Chevy, walk us through that deal there on Friday night, because I'll tell y'all this: the racing at Chicago this week was ultra competitive. It was fantastic racing, and I mean, it got to the competition got to a fever point at starting right around midway Thursday night. And it ramped up going into Friday night, and there was some people that got hot under the helmet, and the competition was fierce, and it showed on the track, and we had some great racing. Walk us through that, Chevy, and tell us how your race went there on Friday night.
Well, I actually dropped fairly far back, even though I was in like fourth place or something. But the Hardy boys, they were just running away with everything, and I had a little mishap getting into the pits and put me about 12 seconds down. And so I had to make a change that I really didn't want to make in the pits to kind of loosen the car up a little bit, which is a little hairy on the first few laps. But holding off Hardy at the end, it was, I looked at the back of his car and I thought, well, there's no way he can hold the bottom. So I took the top on the outside. And I'll be darned if he didn't even hold the bottom, but he got in front of me. But I did a crossover on him on the backstretch, and he couldn't quite get back past me, and that's basically how that happened.
Yeah, there was some people in disbelief of how well he was doing with the back of his car smashed up, but Huggy, he got that never quit attitude, and he got up on that wheel with that damaged car, and he ended up finishing third place. And I mean, he could have very easily got a much, much worse finish than that, but the determination carried him through into a top three finish there, podium finish for HB. So, that just shows the level of competition that we have in these Drunken Cow Jerky series, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Friday was no different. It was a great race, and congratulations to you and the 96 Drunken Cow Jerky Ghost team. Puts it in victory lane.
Oh, I love winning the Friday night race with that car, because the Heyman brothers and their banner for the farmers market features that car, so it's kind of cool.
Absolutely. That is a great banner that they have. They have a big banner that they hang up when they go to the farmers market, and they got them a little booth.
You'll see it pop up to the left there on that screen, second from the bottom. It should be in that setup. There it is right there, as a matter of fact. It just came up with that banner and Chevy's car on it.
Yep, so lots of people around the country get to see the 096 Drunken Cow Jerky Ghost car piloted by our good friend BSR Chevrolet Chase. Those fine folks down there in the Dallas, Texas area that go to the farmers market there in Carrollton get to stop by the Drunken Cow Jerky booth and get them some great whiskey and beer-soaked beef jerky, award-winning beef jerky, and they get to take a look at that nice car on that banner. It was, I've always been a little bit jealous of that banner, because as you know, I'm the hot driver, but that is a nice-looking car, and it does look good on that banner. So, and you put it in victory lane for them today, so I'm sure they're all proud and excited. So we'll head on out to next week and see what you can do next week. Congratulations, Chevy.
Thanks, guys.
Now let's take a look at the points here in the second segment, the Xfinity Series. Chevy up at the top of the board, leading the pack with Terry Scott in second place, down by 2. Brain Fade in third, down by 15. Pockets in fourth, down by 23. And the Foot Doctor, BSR Hot Rod, rounding out the top 5, down by 26.
Yeah, that Brain Fade, he's been hanging in there, and he's advancing a little bit here over the last couple of weeks. And I've noticed, because he and I have been batting it back and forth back there, 4th or 5th, 6th place and everything like that. And we both had fortunate enough to move up the standings a little bit there. And I'm still chasing him. I look out on the track every time we take the track, we get down to the closing laps of the race. I'm always looking to see where that 49 is. And unfortunately, Friday night, he was several positions ahead of me. And so congratulations to him and Chevy and everybody else, Larry, that's fighting hard every race to stay in that top 5 for those coveted bonus points.
Yep, now you're going to have to start looking at where that 65 is, and that 47 there. Larry's only 3 points behind you, and Axel only 4 points behind you. So
Yeah,
I'm
I actually just snuck up to 5th place.
I'm always looking for the 65, especially if he's behind you.
Well, on Friday night after the Xfinity Series, we move over to the Bulls Trucking Friday Night Dirt Series, ran at the Devil's Bowl in my hometown of Mesquite, Texas. And this week, it was H.B. Hardy. We might as well have the H.B. Hardy show this week. Brought home the victory in the dirt at the Devil's Bowl.
That's right. BSR Pockets got second with a great run. Mr. Magoo gets third. BSR Brian Boyles got fourth, and BSR Furco got fifth.
Burkalicious rounding out the top 5. Congratulations to Huggy Bear. Puts it in victory lane in that nice looking 03 car right there, that Wrangler Jeans late model dirt car. I tell you what, HB, when he shows up for the Madness in Mesquite, sponsored by Voiles Trucking, he has some pretty good success there. He's tough to beat. I lined up on the outside of him there with just a few laps to go, and I gave it everything I could. And I'll tell you about that race. The people that were watching the stream and everything were hearing us. We had such a long green flag run that if you ever watched us run these dirt cars, this is not anything even remotely close to racing on asphalt. It takes a lot of energy and concentration. And when you have those big, long green flag runs like we did in that dirt, where you're up on that wheel every second, every corner, it wore me slap out. I thought I was going to fall out of my chair. There were people praying for a caution, because it's like running a damn marathon at full speed, not being able to stop.
Oh yeah, and if you use any kind of force feedback, you're on it. It's an arm bender, man. It's tough.
Yeah, I even heard Chevy say during the race, my arms are killing me, man. I mean, because you're constantly sawing back and forth on that wheel, trying to keep that dirt car underneath you, because it's just right on the verge of out of control at all times. And I mean, it is a handful to handle out on that track. And that was a outstanding race. Those dirt track races on Friday night have just been something we all look forward to, loading up and headed down to Mesquite and getting in those dirt cars. And it's just a lot of fun. And again, we want to thank Kathy and Brian over at Voiles Trucking for all the support they give for that series. And it's just a great time. And it's just, we feel like we do a really good job of simulating real dirt track racing by going back to that same track every Friday night, just like the local dirt track drivers do down there in Mesquite. And it's just a great time. I mean, it's just some outstanding racing.
Yep, running in the dirt's a workout, that's for sure.
Let's take a look at the points here. Friday night, BSR Magoo holding the top spot in the Bulls Trucking Dirt Series with the Eli 114 in second, down by 5. Hot Rod in third, down by 8. Pockets in fourth, down by 13. And BSR Furco rounding out the top 5, down by 21. Looks like you moved up 2 spots last race, and Furco moved up 3. There, Pockets.
Yeah, I had a really good race. I was talking to y'all earlier and saying that I've yet to put that 38 Drunken Cow Jerky hot car in Victory Lane there in Mesquite in the dirt track series, but we're digging every week. We're trying. We got a lot of tough competition out there in that dirt race. So to be able to pull one of those wins off is something that's still eluding us, but we're still working on it every week. And that's the second or third second place finish we've had. So we're getting closer and closer every week. And these Furco back there. Good to see BSR Magoo. I tell everybody that BSR Magoo is the inventor of dirt track racing in NASCAR racing 2003, because back when the very first track ever came out, we used to fool around with that before they had all these mods, all these great people out there working to keep this game alive, made all these mods for us, like this 358 late model dirt mod that we have. Back in the day when the very first dirt track ever came out, we ran it in the IROC mod just because that was the one that felt the most realistic and simulated dirt track racing to us. And that was a long, long time ago, before anybody was running dirt. And BSR Magoo was instrumental in getting us into that. So that's why we feel like that we've got a little bit of an edge when it comes to dirt track racing, because we've been doing it for so long. We haven't run a legitimate series like we have now when we started this with Brian and Kathy Voiles at Voiles Trucking, but it has turned out to be one of our most favorite series that we all look forward to doing on Friday nights.
Yep, that's my savior after a bad week of racing. I got the dirt coming on Friday.
Always got the dirt. It's always that extra little race there on Friday night in the dirt to pick your spirits up and have a good time. And we really enjoy that deal over there, and we're happy to have all the people that come out and support it.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of fun. A lot of close racing. Everybody's got their P's and Q's down by now, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Great racing on Friday night. On Saturday, we run the Battle of the Six Flavors Drunken Cow Jerky Team Series, and we are into season 35 of this series. This week we ran at Talladega. Man, this race was, this was intense. I had some more bad luck. A little warp involved incident that kind of took me out of the race, and one of my teammates, Scar, also involved in that same incident, that warp incident. So it was all down to Chevy for us, pretty much. I think Scar was still in it there at the end, but I was watching that race at the end, and man, the battling that was going on up in the front the last 6-7 laps. There was a lot of lane changing, a lot of 3 wide, a lot of lead changing, and Brain there at the end trying to protect his lead did a great job. Number 49, BSR Brain Fade, brings home the victory for the Reaper team, season 35.
Yep. BSR Brain Fade in the 49. Carolina Reaper Drunken Cow Jerky car brings home the victory. What we got? Do we have a top 5 for this, Larry?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't think. I do we?
I do, but I don't.
I know you don't.
You got the top finisher for each team, what place they finished in?
Yeah, I have where the cars finished, but I don't have an
that's kind of a tricky thing to do, because we don't score that like a regular race because it is the team series. But yeah, Brain Fade brings it home, puts it in victory lane. Bubba J driving for the hot team. He and Brain, they were battling up there, and we had 12, 14 cars all in a small little area there, and everybody digging hard in the closing laps of that race. And that was one of the most spectacular wrecks I have ever seen. All but about 3 cars involved, rolling, crashed, broken hearts, tore up sheet metal, hurt feelings, we had it all there on the Saturday night team series Saturday night. And Brain, he got fortunate and held off for the win. Good, clean blocking, racing. They were getting after it. We had it all. We had lots of green flag pit stops. and that was some very intense racing right there at the end.
Yeah, it was, and the way the teams finished, it really tightened the points up quite a bit. There were some changes here in points, but if you look at how close those top four are now, Teriyaki moves up into the lead with a second place finish, I believe is what they got with Ray 50-50.
Fitty fitty.
Beer Bacon moves down to second place, down by 7. The Reaper team with the victory moves up to third place, down by 9. Hot only down by 11 in fourth. Then you have Original down by 21 and Ghost down by 30. I believe they were down by 29 last week, so Ghost lost a point to the leaders. The rest of the teams, I believe Original has actually gained a little bit on the lead too, but those top four there are
No,
still really
no,
close.
original didn't gain anything. We lost points.
Well, I can tell you that's what I love about Saturday Night Team Series, Battle of the Six Flavors, season 35, is that, going into the race Saturday night, Beer Bacon edged out Teriyaki by 1 point, and then now look at the board. It's just like Yahtzee. Put all them teams in the cup, shake them up, and roll them out. See what the points look like when it's all said and done with. And we looked like some dice rolling out of a Yahtzee cup on that
Yeah.
last caution. But
Yeah.
that thing is, I mean, those points change and fluctuate and rise and fall every week because of the way that system is set up with with 3 drivers on each team scoring the top driver from each team. It really works that scoreboard every week, and it's good to watch it here on the Saturday on the spotter stand every Sunday. You'll be able to see the difference in the changes and the teams switching places here, so it's pretty exciting to watch.
Oh yeah, if your team, manages to finish first, second, third, even though only your first guy is going to score, that second, third car, well, they're keeping the next team to fourth place points. So, and then you got other cars that can fit in there, like Beer Bacon. We were in the lead last week, and pretty much all three of us had a little bad luck. I believe we got a ninth or a 10th place finish, something like that, and yeah, that's all it takes. Ninth or
There's
10th, top 10, and you still lose 8 points in one race.
there's so many different scenarios and so much strategy. There is more strategy than any other form of racing that we do in the Saturday Night Team Series because of the format and with the teams and the different cars and stuff like that. I mean, it is a thinking man's game for super speedway racing. I mean, you have decisions to make at all times, and communication with your teammate is key because there's just so many different things you can do to help your teammate. I mean, it's the only form of racing that you'll see a teammate or a driver purposely go a lap down to help his teammate secure a win. That just doesn't happen in any other form of racing, and it's due to this format that we have of the team racing, and it creates those scenarios and that strategy that makes it just that's why this series is in season 35, is because from the day we kicked it off, all of those things came into play of all the strategy, and it just gave something extra to the racing that we do, and that's why this has been one of our most popular series and continues to this day. At the end of this series, we will crown a champion, and that will be our 350th Saturday Night Team Series race. So that's due to the level of competition and all the strategy and all the things that it adds to our regular racing series.
Oh yeah, I'm not a real big super speedway fan. I mean, they're not my favorite type of races, but due to the structure of that series and the way that you have to work together with your team, and the way the points can fluctuate, I enjoy that series. I like running in it, even though the super speedways aren't my favorite kinds of tracks. The series is one of the best ones. Like I said, it's in season 35 for a reason. And it's a great series.
And you always say that you don't like that you're not a big fan of super speedway racing, but you still do really good in that. So
I just don't like all the riding around in line, just waiting for pit stops and the anxiety of what's going to happen to me at this pit stop. Am I going to run over somebody? Is somebody going to run over me? It's not my favorite Kappa racing. I still enjoy it, especially in the team series. It's a lot of fun.
well, I can tell you that all week long these drivers are all about their program, what they've got to do. It's me, me, me. I got to finish. I got to get a good finish. I got to beat everybody out there. And then we roll into Saturday, and it's almost magic to see these guys take that selfishness, set it to the side, and focus on teamwork. You have to work with your team to be successful. You have to communicate. You have to there are no individuals in team racing. It's all about your team. If you've got to do something that you may end up finishing dead last in that race, but it may be because you've done something to help move your team forward. And that, like I said, that's the beauty of team racing, is it takes the individual out of it, and it is a team building experience. I mean, it is teamwork is number one. And that is the beauty of the Saturday Night Team Series Battle of the Five Flavors, sponsored by Drunken Cow Jerky.
6 flavors.
6 flavors. Did I say 5?
Yeah, you did. Well, it was
Well,
5 for so long.
Yeah, it's been 5
Yeah.
for 340 races. So
Now, also on Saturday night, normally after the team series, we run the Bulls Trucking Speedway Series. This last week, due to a couple drivers being on vacation, some of the drivers that are up there in the points are going to be out. I believe Monty Keller, yeah, like Pocket said, had a little eye injury there. So we took the week off, the Saturday off, last Saturday. We will be running what track are we going to be at next week?
no, we're off. We're off this Saturday too, because we're in a little bit of a hiatus on the Saturday Night Speedway Series at Voiles Trucking because of the summer and people being on vacation. And this weekend falls on the 4th of July weekend, and so we're taking a couple of weeks off because we've got some drivers who are in the points who are off out on vacation with their family and stuff like that, and we've taken that into consideration, and we've kind of just like I said, taking a little short hiatus, let everybody catch their breath, let everybody go out and get a little rest and relaxation, and then we'll get back to business on the Voiles Trucking Saturday Night Speedway Series here coming up in a couple of weeks.
That's right. You mentioned that earlier. I guess I wasn't paying attention. Forgot all about that.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
Let's take a look at bonus points after another week of racing. Wednesday Truck Series bonus points. H.B. Hardy took the victory. Moved himself into the victory column there with 1, and on to the total bonus points column over there with 1. You see Poor Boy and myself still at the top there with 5, and Keith McLean with 4. But remember, at the end of this segment, which is just 2 races away, everybody who's racing this series is going to be on that total bonus points. And just depending on how many races you've attended, that'll depend on how many points you have. And that total bonus points list is about to get a lot longer, just 2 more races from now. And everybody will be eligible to take the championship in the chase if you can make all 10 of those races and put together 10 good races.
Yeah, we're getting closer to that sweet spot to where we add them all up and everybody gets to see where they stand on the big leaderboard going into those last 10 races. I mean, we're right in the middle of the meat and potatoes of the schedule. The summertime schedule here is, it's July 1st. I mean, we're headed that way. Time's going by faster and faster every day, and we inch up closer and closer to the excitement that's going to be the chase for these series. And these bonus points are all this is all a story that is going to come to fruition here very soon, and everybody's going to get to see that last chapter. Everybody's waiting for that last chapter of this book, and we're getting very close. So y'all just be patient. We'll keep you up to date here every Sunday on the spotter stand, so you can follow along with this story that we're telling. That's going to lead up to somebody's going to win some prizes and trophies and championships here at Bomb Squad Racing.
That's right. And let's take a look at the Xfinity Series points. Chevy Chase brought home the victory in the Xfinity Series, brought himself up to 2 in the win column. I believe he's also got a few in there. I see he finished top 5 in the All-Star race. Also top 5 in segment 1, giving him a few other bonus points. Chevy moved up in this series to make it a 3-way tie for the lead now. Chevy Chase, myself, and Rick Johnson, all with 15 points. And that moves it to HB Hardy and BSR Pockets there would be in second with 14. And still a 3-way tie for third between Brain Fade, Terry Scott, and Nelly.
Yeah, Rick Johnson finds himself in a pretty unique situation there, standing shoulder to shoulder with 2 past champions in the bonus column. But I'm gonna tell you that just like I said earlier, these are basically just weekly qualifying events to score as many bonus points you can to carry you into the chase. And Rick and HB and myself and several others are banking those bonus points so that we'll have a legitimate shot at the championship when we roll in to take the series to the last 10 races. So this is, like I said, this is a very interesting story that continues every week. So stay tuned and watch what happens.
And on to the Cup Series. As we said before, we're going to look out for Steve Looney in this series. Brought home another victory this week, and that puts him up to a total of 3 wins in the Cup Series so far this season. And he also brought home the victory in the All-Star race, which gave him 3 bonus points for that 1 win right there. With the win last week, or this week, excuse me, well, last week, win on Thursday at Chicagoland. That moves Steve up to the top of the board in the Cup bonus points with 19. Bumped me back to second with 18, and Chevy Chase in third with 17. Quite a few other guys mixed in there, with 16, 15, 14, and about 9 more races to go, I believe, before we enter the chase in this series.
Yeah, that'll show you how quickly things can change, because there's Steve back there, silently, quietly working his way up, getting good finishes every week. And he's been fortunate enough to put himself right here in the summer, right here in prime time. He's starting to put those wins on the board, starting to get those bonus points, and all of a sudden, here you go. Everybody's pointing at the 21 car as a serious contender for the Thursday night DrunkenCowJerky.com championship. And Steve's there. We've been talking about Steve a lot this week, and the success that he and the 21 team have had, and there he is. You can see it on the board. He's one of the guys. He's placed himself right up there as one of the top contenders for this series. So congratulations to him. We hope his good luck holds out and he continues with the success that he's had so far.
Yeah, not only does he have 3 victories, actually 4, counting the All-Star race. Steve's a good, consistent top 5, top 10 driver every week. He's going to be close to that top 5 every week. So that kind of consistency will help you stay up there in the points, which he's showing us now, taking the lead in the bonus board.
Well, and I tell you, he don't bring home very many damaged cars. I happened to be fortunate enough to watch him there Thursday night. Of course, I was behind him several cars, but that car was wicked in the corner, and I was expecting just him to have trouble. And I tell you what, he got that thing lined out, and next thing you know, I'm looking up there, and Steve's pulling into victory lane. So that'll show you that he has that never quit attitude either, and he's very smooth, very consistent, very clean, good guy, and it shows. And that's why he's one of the people that we're talking about this week as a serious contender for a championship. It's got championship implications written all over it.
Oh yeah, and the competition this year, as you all know, has stepped up a factor of 10. since last season. I think if you count in all the guys, let me drop some names here. Some of these guys were here last season, but still fairly new. Like Steve Looney, H.B. Hardy, Rick Johnson, Robert Bauckham, Keith McLean. Who am I missing there? I mean, that's just 5, 6 guys that have been added to the mix just this season for the most part. Some of them last season, and they're all fast every single week. So, not only did you have the guys that we already had a lot of fast drivers here, but you just added 5, 6 extremely top-notch drivers every week. Those guys are always there, and it's really stepped up the competition here at BSR. It's been a lot of fun, man. This season it's been great racing. I've still got a lot to go, and hats off to all the drivers that show up every week and do a great job. Have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. This season, the comfort zone has been erased. I mean, you have to get out, you have to perform, you have to put it all on the line every week, and you see these great drivers coming into this series. And, Robert is an example. Robert,
Monty Keller, that was another one I meant to throw
yeah,
in there.
Monty, Steve, all these guys that have came into this series, they came in, they started running a couple of races, and they said, this is some great racing, and that's how we gauge how good our series is doing, by the level of drivers that come in and compete, like Robert and Steve and Monty and the rest of the BSR guys and everybody that we have. And even Robert, he came into these series and started running these series, started having some success and enjoyed what we had going on, and that's what led to the commitment that he and I have of BAM Motorsports. That's going to be Robert's full-time entry into the series. He and I sat down and had a discussion, and we put this little deal together as his full-time commitment to be a driver in this series and run for a championship. So he's committed. You got these guys committed to these series like this. The competition level's through the roof. I mean, this is going to be possibly the most exciting 10 races that we've had since the inception of Bomb Squad Racing over 15 years ago. So we're really looking forward to it.
Bam.
Bam.
Bam. Well, let's take a little minute here to thank our sponsors. We'd like to thank Mark and Richard Heyman over at Drunken Cow Jerky.
Absolutely.
Also,
everybody
Brian,
go visit
Kathy
Drunken
Bulls,
Cow Jerky.
Bulls Trucking, Real Tech LLC, Rick Craddock, WLS Graphics, Tim Scarborough, BSR Scar, the Medicine Chest Pharmacy, BSR RJ Rusty, and Hello Sunshine, Hello BSR Tyler and Rhoda. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything you do for us. Help make our racing even better here. We are able to give away a lot of great prizes, and we have a lot of fun racing, and everything you guys do to support us helps us be the league that we are. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and we will have an announcement next week. I've got another sponsor coming in that is friend of the cow, friend of Mark Heyman, Richard Heyman, all the fine folks down in Dallas, Texas. Drunken Cow Jerky. They are a Drunken Cow Jerky reseller. We'll do a little spotlight on them next Sunday on the spotter stand, but be looking on our Facebook pages, as I'm going to make an announcement for a driver and a new car sponsored coming this week. So we'll leave y'all with that. And like I said, we'll make that announcement on Facebook, and then we'll do a little talking about it next week.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in live with us today. Another great show. Appreciate you guys being with us. Pockets, Larry, and Chevy, thanks for being here this afternoon. We're going to roll it on out of here, and we will catch you guys next week.
Holla!
See ya.